When I was young, I had an '83 Toyota Supra, and that little car had a straight six in it and was, and still is, one of Toyota's best cars. I had a 5-speed standard and 156 horsepower, which at the time was a big deal. It was a fast car. And of course, I got myself into, some trouble with it. And I was a kid, so speeding was a whole lot of fun. And I can remember several occasions where I topped it out on the highway, ended up at around 120, and nearly span out into an intersection where there could have been tons of people. And I pulled up straight, ready to go in the right lane on San Pedro at Bitters, if you know where that is. And across from me was a little old lady in a big boat of a old Plymouth 70-something car, and she didn't even look over. She just kept looking straight ahead. And when the light turned green, she just went. And I looked over to the kid in the car next to me. I said, "I've got to slow down. I really could get us killed." He said, "I think that's a good idea." And when the light changed for us, we just took off. Well, those are the sorts of memories we all have. We all have dark memories. And you go back, you put yourself in the place of where you were at the time, and you say, what the hell was I thinking? I could have had a blowout. That little car could have spun out and flipped over. Of course, I ruined the transmission on it. I power shifted into second and ended up spending $1,053.11 at Gene Brown Transmission to have it fixed. You see, all these years later, I have not forgotten that exact number to the penny. $1,053.11. I remember having to write that check, which at the time was a darn lot of money for me. It was really difficult to pay. But you learn from stuff like that. In high school, the same amount of time, I look back in the photo album and I see my friends at the time. Many of them have moved away, or a couple of them are dead. One of them is in jail. And you say, God, what were we thinking at the time? Why do I share that with you? Because negative memories have their place. They make you wiser. They make you smarter. You wouldn't be who you are today without them. And of course, you look back and you think, what the hell was I thinking? That was stupid. It was awful. We've all done those things. But I liken that to nostalgia hunger. You go back sometimes when you start fasting and you think about the fact that you used to didn't have to care. You used to didn't have to care at all. You used to say, I remember eating Oreos all hours of the night and waking up in a sugar coma and doing it all again and just doing it over and over. When you face nostalgia hungers, recall your most awful memories, good/awful memories, things you would never do again. Because by doing so, you realize you're not that person anymore. And if it's longer than 2 years ago, you're really not that person anymore, because literally every cell of your body has been replaced by another cell. So you share the memories of that person, but you are not that person. So, and here's the thing about memories in general. When you look back through the photo album and you say, look at me there, look at the outfit I had on, look at the school, the friends I hung out with in school. When you have all of that stuff, remember, honor it in its place and time, but never try to replicate it, because you will be so disappointed, because you cannot relive old memories. You cannot make them now. I'm not going to go back and buy that Toyota Supra. As much as I loved it, I'm not going to go and put on Iron Maiden shirts and Metallica shirts and try to act like a tough guy and grow my hair long and try to be some punk, like I was. It was the way things were. But you learn from those mistakes. So when you're dealing with nostalgia hunger or cravings, just remember that old person was living on borrowed time. Again, think of me nearly wrecking out or doing something crazy that could have killed me. We all have those stories, and it's amazing what you try as a kid and how you realize you could have been locked up, you could have been set on fire, you could have had your head chopped off. I had a friend who would do flips off of balconies. He was just acrobatic, and I remember thinking, God, one slip and he could break his neck, but he managed not to. Well, it doesn't matter how. It matters you're smarter now, and you would never attempt to do that again, even though you attempted it then with the knowledge you had, the health you had, but it's borrowed time. because you get smarter. It's like my cousin's, he was a little bit younger than me, and in 1995, his dad bought him a new 95 XLT Ford Ranger with a standard transmission. He was so hard on that thing because it was his first car and he wasn't paying for it. Well, he looks back now and he sees how much of a beating that thing took. It's not a new car anymore. Pretty soon it doesn't shift as smooth. That's how it is with your bodies. You're not in a position where you could or should ever want to go and relive old memories. It's enough to look back and say, those were the days when we went out to the ranch, we slept on the couch until 3 a.m., we did a fish fry, we got drunk all night, we did all of this. Let it be a memory, but don't ever let it come back at you, because it will ruin you today. You can't be a kid again. You can't go back and compete with the younger crowd. You can't do those things. And you're smarter. Why would you want to? Why would you want to be a fool? When I look around and I see kids doing dumb things, I'm not envious. I don't say, well, look at that guy. I think, what a pitiable little creature you are. You've got such a long way to go. All the kids you're sucking up to, trying to be a friend to, don't even like you. You're gonna have to figure out all that I figured out. And while a part of me looks at the chance of getting to do it over as something enviable, I would never want to do it over. Because if we went back through school, all of us who've been through it, we wouldn't want to do it again. We wouldn't have the patience. Our brains are not wired that way anymore. So what do? Nostalgia cravings, nostalgia hunger, appreciate it in its place in time because it brought you to today, but you can never relive it.